If something can control you, it already does. The insult that ruins your day, the silence that feels like rejection, the plan that falls apart and sends your mood spiraling. It was never about them. It was always about you, your wounds, your fear of not being enough, your need to be seen. Most people spend their lives reacting to ghosts, chained to emotions they don't understand, blaming the world for storms that started inside. But what if you could see clearly? What if the outside world lost its grip on your peace? Carl Jung's most dangerous idea is simple. The world cannot control you unless you let it. This isn't philosophy, it's liberation. The moment you stop reacting, you reclaim your power. So stay with me, because once you understand this, you will never, ever be controlled again. Someone bumps into you, no apology, just a blank stare, and suddenly your chest tightens, heat rushes to your face, rage. But stop for a second. Is your anger really about this person? Or about the part of you that's tired of being overlooked, underestimated, dismissed? The truth is, most people aren't reacting to the world. They're reacting to unhealed echoes of the past. An insult only hurts if a part of you secretly agrees. Rejection only stings if you're still looking for proof that you're enough. You think it's about them, but it's always been about you. Carl Jung said it best. Everything that irritates us about others can lead us to an understanding of ourselves. That's not a quote, it's a mirror. Most people see it and flinch, because it's easier to point the finger than to admit the pain has your name on it. A colleague talks over you in a meeting. Is it their arrogance or your fear of being invisible? Your partner takes space and you spiral. Is it their distance or the abandonment you never faced? Triggers aren't attacks, they're teachers. And every emotional spike is a flashlight saying, look here, you haven't healed this yet. But instead of listening, we escape, we blame, lash out, shut down. We give the world the remote control to our emotions, then wonder why we feel powerless. Imagine someone calls you a failure, and it doesn't touch you. Not because you're numb, but because you've met that fear before, stared it down, and refused to let it define you. That's not indifference. That's sovereignty. That's what it means to become emotionally untouchable. Not because nothing happens, but because everything that does passes through a mind that no longer takes it personally. So next time the heat rises, pause. Don't ask, why are they doing this to me? Ask, what inside me is still waiting to be seen? Because until you make the unconscious conscious, it will run your life. And you'll call it bad luck or worse, destiny. But if you want to stop being a puppet, you have to look at who's really pulling the strings. And it's not the world. It's the part of you you've hidden for years. That's what we'll confront now, the shadow behind the mask. You think you're choosing, think you're reacting logically, but most of the time, you're just following a script you didn't write, one that's been running in the background for years. The joke, you call it personality. Jung called it projection. There's a part of you you don't want to see, so you bury it. And like all things buried, it doesn't disappear. It rots. It grows teeth. That's the shadow. It's not the evil in you. It's the rejected, the ashamed, the unaccepted. And it's pulling your strings when you're not looking. You sabotage good relationships, not because people are unsafe, but because love once hurt and now feels dangerous. You attack confidence in others because deep down you doubt your own. You chase chaos because peace feels unfamiliar, and still you blame bad luck or just how things are. But as Jung warned, until you confront your shadow, it will appear in your life as fate. Fate isn't the universe punishing you. It's your unexamined pain dressing up as reality. Same pain, different faces, same wound, different scenes, until you break the loop. Ever wonder why the same kind of person keeps showing up in your life? The narcissist, the ghoster, the emotional vampire, they're not a coincidence. They're characters in your inner play, repeating until you stop the performance. Your shadow keeps handing you the same lesson, louder each time, until you learn it. And no, confronting it isn't pretty. It means admitting your victimhood became identity, that your anger masks grief, that your need to be strong came from never being allowed to be soft. But when you stop running and finally turn around, there it is, not a monster, just the younger version of you, still waiting to be seen. The shadow loses its grip when you stop denying it exists, and when you integrate it, you stop reacting from old pain and start acting from new power. Because the point was never to destroy the shadow, the point was to reclaim it. And if you're ready for that, then it's time to talk about the illusion that keeps most people trapped for life. The desperate need to control what was never in their hands to begin with. You want things to go your way, that's natural. But here's where it breaks. When your way becomes the only way you'll accept. Most people spend their lives trying to control everything, how people see them, how the future unfolds, how others behave. But the more they cling, the more life resists. And here's the paradox. The more you try to control, the more you suffer. Because you've tied your peace to things you were never meant to hold. You want them to text back. You want the meeting to go exactly right. You want traffic to disappear when you're late. And when it doesn't, rage, stress, heartbreak. Not because of what happened, but because of what you demanded from reality. Jung said it clearly. Neurosis is always a substitute for legitimate suffering. Control is the substitute. It's the illusion we build to avoid facing uncertainty, pain, and powerlessness. But all it creates is tension. And when life doesn't follow your script, you call it chaos. But really, it's freedom refusing to fit inside your cage. The real problem isn't that people let you down. It's that you made their behavior the condition for your peace. It's not that plans failed. It's that you believed your worth depended on them going perfectly. Let that go. Let go of needing the world to obey you to feel okay. When you stop clenching so hard, things begin to move. Peace isn't passive. It's what rises when you stop wrestling with what already is. The irony, when you let go of control, you gain influence. People trust grounded energy. Opportunities flow to calm minds. Confidence isn't the loud push. It's the quiet center that doesn't shake. Control was never your power. Presence is. And once you taste that presence, when your happiness no longer depends on what others say, do, or give, you stop negotiating with the world for your peace. Because the truth is, nothing belongs to you. Not outcomes, not approval, not even tomorrow. But what does belong to you, fully, deeply, completely, is your state of being. And in the next part, we're going to meet the version of you who holds that power without fear, the one who walks through the world untouchable. Picture this. Someone insults you in public, calls you weak, small, irrelevant. Now imagine this. You feel nothing. No anger, no spike, no need to defend or prove, just presence. Not because you're numb, but because you've done the work. That's what it means to be untouchable. Not that people stop attacking, but that nothing sticks. Their words land on healed skin, their judgments fall into silence, and the drama dies without oxygen. Being untouchable isn't about building walls, it's about dissolving the hooks. You don't need to avoid toxic people, you just stop offering your peace for them to steal. You don't need to manipulate outcomes, you just stop confusing external events with internal worth. Most people try to escape discomfort by controlling the world, but once you stop reacting, you realize the storm was never outside. It was always your nervous system on autopilot. Now you move differently. Someone cancels on you. You breathe. A stranger criticizes you. You see the pain behind their mask. Life doesn't obey your plans. You adjust instead of collapse. This isn't cold detachment, it's emotional sovereignty. You still feel, but you're no longer owned by the feeling. You observe the chaos, but you are not the chaos. You've become the sky, not the storm. Carl Jung once said, "I am not what happened to me, I am what I choose to become." And that's the moment everything shifts. You stop being a reaction. You become a presence, unmoved, aware, quietly powerful, the kind of presence that changes a room without saying a word. So here you are, still in the same world, but now the world no longer runs you. You've stepped out of the old patterns, out of blame, out of fear, out of needing things to go your way to feel whole. You've dropped the mask, integrated the shadow, surrendered the illusion. And what's left is someone calm in chaos, soft but unbreakable. Now there's only one question left. If you've become untouchable, what will you do with your freedom? You were never meant to be a puppet, not of your past, not of your wounds, not of other people's chaos. Now you've seen the pattern. The trigger wasn't the enemy, it was the teacher. The pain wasn't the punishment, it was the invitation. And the world, it was just a mirror begging you to look inward. You're not your fear, you're not their opinion, you're not the story that used to keep you small. You are the space between the moment and the choice. And in that space lives your power. Calm, steady, unshakable. From now on, nothing owns you unless you offer it the keys. If this hit home, don't just keep it to yourself. Like, share, subscribe, whatever keeps the signal strong. And send it to someone who's still giving the world remote access to their soul. They won't forget you for it. Because once you stop reacting, you don't just take back your power, you take back your life.